Oh boy, am I so excited to be a proud US soccer fan. The World Cup is within 2 weeks, which means national teams are starting to announce their squads for the competition. For the US, the question of who would be going to Qatar has been frequently asked since probably September. And it's an exciting time because we get to see this brand new generation of young talent represent us on the biggest of stages. Now, before we go into the actual announcement for the US squad, here was just a list of players that I really liked and thought had a spot nailed down. Keep in mind I had to think like head coach Gregg berhalter for this one. So for as much as I rate the likes of Joe Scally, Mark McKenzie, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Tim Ream, Luca Delatorre, James Sands, Malik Tillman, and Jordan Pefok, I also had to pretend that I was severely inept at my job.
Time.
Today's sponsor is OneFootball. OneFootball allows you to follow your favorite teams, leagues, and even players. You can get live match scores, alerts, player ratings, and know exactly what's going on with instant up-to-date news. In addition to all these great new features, OneFootball has given us something even better. The app is now offering Indian Super League fans everywhere except in the Indian subcontinent the opportunity to stream all live matches and highlights. You can even set reminders that way you don't miss a game. But it's not just the Indian Super League, it's also other great major leagues, and it's also for free. And remember, this is all free, so go down in the description, click that link, download OneFootball for either Apple or Android, because I promise you won't want to miss out. So first off, we'll start with the keepers, Matt Turner. Slowly but surely throughout 2022, I have become a fan of Matt Turner, and his place as my personal number one for the national team was cemented with his recent performances for Arsenal. The second keeper that I liked and thought had a place nailed down as backup would be Zach Steffen. He hasn't been performing that well, but our national team pool for goalkeepers isn't that massive. I've always said from day one that Serginho Dest moved way too soon from Ajax. He was pretty subpar for Barcelona, and Milan, really things haven't worked out. However, for the national team, I'd say he's performed pretty well for the most part. Defensively, Anthony Robinson has been pretty good for the national team. In terms of attack, there's potential. I just hope he's improved his crossing conversion rate. I don't think Walker Zimmerman is our best defender, but I do like aspects of his game, and I'd say I'm pretty confident that Gregg berhalter would call him up. Tyler Adams, since his move to Leeds, has been in some of the best form. He's averaging nearly the most tackles per game in the Premier League, and even some Leeds fans think he's going to be the future captain of the club. Center mid Yunus Musa is an absolute baller. He's probably my favorite player on this team. The midfielder is the best in ball carrying and has the ability to break open defenses with his technicality. It's not even a question. Weston McKennie is definitely going to the World Cup. He's by far our best midfielder and honestly our best player. Winger Brendan Aronson has Red Bull running through his veins. It's almost like he never runs out of energy. He's also one of Leeds' most creative players this season. Gio Reyna is by far the most talented footballer in this pool. The way he can just sway past defenders like nothing actually gives me a tad bit more hope for this team. Not to mention, he's an incredibly versatile attacking player. Throughout the last 18 months, Josh Sargent has really fallen out of favor, and understandably so. He was awful for Norwich in the Prem, and his output wasn't that great for the US. However, I very much expected the Premier League to be more of a learning experience, and the Championship to be really where Sargent capitalizes, and he's done exactly that, scoring 8 goals in 16 games this season. Ricardo Pepi has had some struggles throughout this year. It's understandable, he's 19 going into Europe, but as a result of other strikers performing better in their respected leagues, Pepi has been out of favor. However, since the loan move to Groningen, he has 5 goals and 2 assists in 8 games. Winger Tim Weah. I love this man. There's really nothing else I have to say. He's so good on the wings, and he's easily the most accurate crosser of the ball on this team. And then finally, we have Christian Pulisic. Listen, I think we can all agree it's not been very fun for him at club level. Do I think he should be getting more chances? Yeah, but I don't mind Chelsea themselves. When it comes to the national team though, I have pretty much 90% trust in Pulisic. This man has been through it all, had his Joker moments, and became a different beast because of it. He's also the national team's active top scorer by a country mile. So those were the players that I liked and had confidence in making it to Qatar. Here are the other players that I was confident Gregg would be taking to the World Cup. Firstly, we have Aaron Long, who shouldn't even be considered for this squad. This man has been cooked more ways than a chicken, and yet he'll probably be starting against Wales due to Chris Richards' injury. I don't think Kellen Acosta is anywhere near our best midfielder, but he's definitely good enough for this squad. DeAndre Yedlin is just I can accept it. You know, he can come off the bench, I'm fine with that. Jesus Ferreira is Yeah, I'm okay with him as well, I guess. There's definitely better options, but I just know for a fact that he will make the squad. Ferreira is great at getting into the right positions, but oh, his finishing is just awful. And finally, we have winger Paul Arriola. I don't hate the selection of Arriola, and I don't think as many people would hate it if he wasn't played so goddamn much. He definitely doesn't deserve to be starting, but as an option off the bench, like, that's fine by me. So that was the overall list of players that I thought had a nailed down spot for Qatar. But knowing Gregg Berhalter, I knew for a fact that somehow, some way, he'd pull some bullshit. So I had very low expectations going into the actual announcement. But without further ado, the official squad. For goalkeepers, we have Matt Turner, perfect. Then Ethan Horvath and Sean Johnson. What? Firstly, no Zach Steffen. I don't really understand that decision. Like I said, he's not been in great form, but he could still be a good backup. Secondly, Gabriel Slonina. Why wasn't he picked either? This man literally had an open spot for Poland and decided to opt for the US. And we don't even call him up. Okay, well, you know, great start already. Defenders, we have Cameron Carter-Vickers, Serginho Dest, Aaron Long, as expected, Shaq Moore, Tim Ream, Anthony Robinson, Joe Scally, DeAndre Yedlin, and Walker Zimmerman. Pleasantly surprised by the call-ups of Joe Scally and Tim Ream. I really wasn't expecting that. That being said, though, I don't really think Gregg is going to be playing them that much. But here's where the question marks really start to unfold. Shaq Moore, interesting. I mean, every single time he's played for the national team, he hasn't really performed that well. Like, listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Reggie Cannon, but I still think Reggie Cannon is a little bit better. But, you know, it's all right. We'll take 3 right backs to the World Cup. How about the midfielders? You know, it could only get better. Brendan Aronson, Kellen Acosta, Tyler Adams, Luca Delatorre, Weston McKennie, Yunus Musa, and Christian Roldan? Who invited my guy? Every time since the beginning of the qualification campaign, Christian Roldan has done f*** all. You mean to tell me that someone like James Sands or Malik Tillman with his 3 goals and 2 assists for Rangers isn't enough over Christian f***ing Roldan? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. They're still the forwards. We can still redeem this, Gregg. We can still redeem this. So for attackers, we have Jesus Ferreira, Jordan Morris, Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna, Josh Sargent, Tim Weah, and Haji Wright. He picked Jordan Morris, but not Ricardo Pepi. Why, in the year of our Lord, 2022, are we still calling up Jordan Morris? Jordan Morris. It's not like we have a problem with our depth on the wing. Pulisic, Aronson, Reyna, Weah. There's no problem there. What the fuck? So how Berhalter chose his other 2 strikers, because we got Josh Sargent, which was a pleasant surprise, I'll give him that, was by comparing 2 strikers at a time. So there was Pepi and Ferreira, then Jordan Pefok and Haji Wright. And somehow, Gregg Berhalter chose wrong both times. Jordan Pefok, a striker in the Bundesliga, a top 5 league, 3 goals, 3 assists. Sure, his form has dipped a bit, but if we're gonna talk about that, what about Ferreira? Oh, but according to Berhalter, he's been good for us. This man sends sitters to space. What the f*** do you mean? Now, Haji Wright, I'll give some credit to Gregg because he's been having a good season. 9 goals and 12 league appearances. Unfortunately for him, though, it's just how competition works with the national team. There's just better players, and I think Jordan Pefok definitely deserved that spot. But this is the mind-boggling one. Not taking Ricardo Pepi. Whatever Gregg Berhalter is smoking, it's way crazier than whatever Samuel Eto'o is. Let me state this again. This man has had 5 goals, 2 assists in the Eredivisie for a team that's placed 14th right now. And you can't forget about this. He was our 2nd best scorer in the entire final round of qualification. He's the reason why we managed to half-ass qualification. This man, a year ago, had the choice between playing for Mexico or the US, and he proudly put that crest on his chest, that beautiful yet minimalized US crest. And although he's had some rough patches throughout this entire year, he's prevailed, he's improved his form. And this is how you f***ing repay him, you f***ing TikTok. Apparently Ricardo Pepi's camp is livid, and I don't blame him. He definitely deserved a spot. He more than deserved it. So looking at the entire squad, we really missed out on James Sands, Malik Tillman, Jordan Pefok, and Ricardo Pepe, and you could even throw John Brooks if you wanted to, but we all know it wasn't gonna happen. But we really missed out on those guys for the likes of Shaq Moore, Christian Roldan, Jesus Ferreira. I don't even want to put him in this because he doesn't deserve it. And f***ing Jordan Morris. I mean, I went into this with low expectations, very low expectations, but holy sh! I just don't get it, man. I'd be fine if they were performing well. Like, I really would. I'd be rooting for them, obviously. I mean, I'm not a f***ing insanist, but they aren't. We're just bringing mid to this tournament for quite literally no reason. Like I said, I would have been fine with Paul Arriola, and we didn't even get him. It's one thing being shit at coaching the national team. It's another just being downright stupid and biased with the squad selection. But let me remind you again, folks. Gregg Berhalter had a 38% win rate with Columbus Crew. No trophies, no nothing. The only reason why he got this job was because his brother was a higher up in the federation. That's it. Somehow there's more nepotism in the US Soccer Federation than there is the Vietnamese Federation. I didn't think that would be possible. But for now, you know, there's not much we can do. I'll just turn on patriotic mode. I can't wait for my new US Christmas sweater to come in. Go USA. I'll support all these guys. It's the World Cup, you know. I'm not gonna just like trash them the entire time. I do want to see this team do well. I don't really have much hope in it, but you know, if they do, then that's great. Good luck to our boys. I hope they all do great. You know, Ferreira, he might turn into R9 during the tournament. You know, Christian Roldan, he might turn into the American Zidane. You never know. So I wasn't really planning on making a video about the squad selection because I was just thinking, okay, well, we're just gonna bring mid, but there won't be anything shocking. I was wrong. But of course, a massive shout out to all our patrons, including Janusz Balash, Sentley Hank Dennis, El Favi, Milliway009, Alex Rod, Ulta, Amin Suamez, Aresan, Daniel Ortiz, Francisco Hernandez, Ice Shadow Ninja, Juan Leras, Miguel Munoz, Nguyen Mintang, Return Fire, Rory Burns, Subscribe to Tendetem, The Motor Drive, Tomicus, Vanilla Mexican 17, Victor, Chris Damasceno, David Dunn, Declan Malloy, Dominic Griffin, Emmett Shea, Lewis, Jordan Clavitt, Mohammed Obokhail, MX Weeb, Patrick Barley, President Pulisic, and Unbroken Persona. If you'd like to join the Patreon, there'll be a link down below and up in the annotations. You can follow my Twitter if you want. It's almost at 10,000. You can follow my Instagram if you'd like as well. Follow my TikTok, trying to get to 15,000 there. And of course, you can follow my semi-active Twitch. I will be planning on doing some watch-alongs during the World Cup, so definitely tune in there. But until then, I'll see you guys.